Let us now discuss about k-means clustering, which is part of non-hierarchical clustering. The key difference between hierarchical clustering and non-hierarchical clustering are as follows. In the hierarchical clustering, we generate a cluster, look at the dendrogram, and then decide on how many clusters we want. In non-hierarchical clustering, we upfront determine on how many clusters we can generate. And one such non-hierarchical clustering that we're going to discuss now is called as k-means clustering. K-means clustering. Yep, let us discuss that. So here our objective is to predetermine the number of overlapping clusters. Of course, each cluster should be different. There should not be any overlapping. If you have any overlapping, that is not called as clustering. Yeah, that's not a clustering exercise at all. So the objective of clustering are, we want all the homogeneous or related clusters together, and the unrelated clusters should be far away from each other. So the objective is very, very clear here. And the objective is, we need to have a lot of similarity between or within a group. This is called as within group. So within group there has to be a lot of similarity, step one, because we have the related people in this group. And here also within this cluster there has to be a lot of similarity within the group. But when it comes to between these two clusters, there has to be a lot of dissimilarity. Between the clusters there has to be a lot of dissimilarity, because if you have, say, this is cluster A and this is cluster B. If cluster B is so close, and if you have people in this, then there are high chances that this data point here can be part of this also. So there is very close. It's extremely difficult to differentiate between these two clusters. Hence, only if the distance between the clusters is large, you can effectively segregate and label each and every cluster. And here we will not have any dendrogram, and the final result that we're going to see is cluster membership. And it's extremely useful for large data sets, and hierarchical clustering is extremely useful for your small data sets. All right. So this is the objective of your k-means clustering, the algorithm. It minimizes within cluster variance. So within cluster, it is going to reduce the distance between different records. And upfront, you need to determine on how many clusters you want to generate, step one. And for each record, it gets assigned to the cluster with the closest centroid. We recalculate the centroid for the losing and receiving clusters. It can be done after reassignment of each record or after one complete pass through all records, repeat step 2 to 3 until there is no more reassignment which is necessary. All right. I know that you could not understand majority of that. So let me explain this to you all using the R code.